Welcome along to the start of a new week of sports conversation here on Longshore and McKnight. I'm Barry McKnight, a severely underdressed Barry McKnight, as it turns out, next to Rush Chairman Warren Matthews, who's in for John. John is dealing with a family tragedy, and prayers out to him. We hope to see him soon. But it's good to see you out there and able to welcome in our viewers and listeners and tell them not to be shy, helping themselves to punch and cookies. I like this. I feel underdressed, Warren. Nobody gave me the memo. I don't know.
Barry, as you know, post-COVID, I think I've worn a tie like 10 times, and it's funerals and weddings.
Yes.
And I feel bad for people who are in the industry of selling start shirts and ties, because I think I've got the same ties I've had for 20 years. They went away. Ties went away for Father's Day and Christmas gifts at my house about 5 years. And Gurn Jr. will tell you, in my closet, I have a shelf of basically every Christmas and Father's Day gift that I've ever received. They call it the shelf of misfit toys. They know better than give me something. Yeah. I just don't like stuff. I've got all kinds of just stuff. And so it's in there with my ties. And I do have some start shirts I wear from time to time, but gosh, if you see me at work, I'm not the fashionista that I need to be, but that's okay.
It's a good thing that you did not spend your career in the radio business, because radio, all that is, John and I would kid around that one thing in the radio business, you're going to get plenty of koozies, you're going to have plenty of T-shirts, you're going to get plenty of hats, car keychains and stuff like that. It is built for stuff. But
I got a question for you. What do you do? What do I do with the bucket of hats I have? I have a bin of hats, and I've got 3 or 4 I wear, but I've probably got 25 to 30 hats. It's not like they go out of business. It's not like they wear out. It's just like eventually, somebody's getting some random golf course hat at Goodwill. Yeah. That's just what it is.
That's what it is. Is Salvation Army in Troy. Shout out to them, South Brundage Street. If you want a selection of ball caps with BWMCK written in underneath the bill right there, it didn't count as an autograph. They always have a plentiful selection. I go through them. I have several that I keep, but I get caps all the time. And I wear them once in a while. You can't wear them at work. I don't wear them, when I'm broadcasting or anything like that. But there are a ton of them. And as you know, without even me telling you, John and I have special sized heads. Not everybody can wear our fitted hats. If I get a fitted hat, maybe 8% of the population.
Are you an 8? Are you an 8? Or are you a 7 and what?
I am a 7 and 5/8.
That's a good noggin. I have
as
a
former Auburn baseball coach, and athletic director Hal Baird once told me back when I was working with him, broadcasting Auburn baseball, he says, "Man, that's a bucket." Yeah, it is. It is. I get that. The chat line, welcome in to all of you. We've got a lot to talk about, including some really, really, really good news from Auburn. It is really a shame, Warren, that Auburn has struggled so mightily in the football realm over the past 5 years. Haven't had a winning record. Just win more than you lose since 2019. Because if you look around, the men's basketball team has gone to the Final Four. Suni Lee, Olympic gold medal gymnast, all-around gymnast. Auburn Tiger was on the Auburn gymnastics team. Equestrian national championships. And yesterday, Jackson Coyven, who is 21 years old. Just to give you an illustration, Warren has ties that are older than Jackson Coyven. There's no question in my mind that maybe that tie he's got on right now, he got it before Jackson Coyven was even born.
Barry, I have a suit. That I wore to my rehearsal dinner, and I've been married 31 years, and I still wear it.
You've had that suit 10 years before that kid even
exactly before you thought about having that kid.
It is Jackson Coyven over the weekend, his third start on the PGA Tour
as a pro. He's been yes. As an amateur, he played a bunch of tournaments and did well.
Yes, he did. He actually played as an amateur at the U.S. Open, finishing tied for 23rd. No shock at all that he skipped it his senior season at Auburn after having led Auburn to the national championship in men's golf and having won the Ben Hogan Award as the nation's top amateur golfer twice. 2 months ago, Auburn won the national championship in men's golf. Jackson Coyven, Player of the Year. 2 months later, at 21 years old, Jackson Coyven wins on the PGA Tour in his third event at the John Deere. No. That John Deere was his first
3M.
Event. Yeah,
3M.
3M championship with
Blaine, Minnesota.
With Scotty Scheffler breathing down his neck. He had a scorching third round. Began the day yesterday as a 3-shot leader ahead of Scheffler by 5. Scheffler made a charge, but then he finished. And people, and he wins on the tour. He is a PGA Tour championship, which gets him into the Masters and the PGA Championship into 2027. He is now in 70th place in the FedEx Cup standings.
After 3 weeks.
And people are very impressed with him. The next Tiger Woods, the kid's got something. He's got some panache. He's a tremendous golfer and all of that. Some people are saying that, future of the Pro Tour, songbird of his generation, all of that stuff about Jackson Coyven. How can Auburn do all of that? Olympic gold medalists, PGA champions, national champions, and they can't get out of their own way on the football team. Maybe this is the.
So Jackson's story is, you say, how the hell does a guy like that get to Auburn? Okay. Here's what I understand. He grew up in San Jose, California, Northern California. Okay.
All right.
His senior year of high school, his family moves to Chapel Hill, North Carolina,
right,
so that he could graduate from high school online. Homeschool online, so that he could play tournaments full time. Okay. I think he was one of the top. He was, if not the top, one of the top juniors in the country. All right. So he comes to Auburn, has a great career, 3 years. They win a national championship when he's a sophomore. I think it's a sophomore. And he goes through the PGA University, which is this new program they have that if you play some PGA tournaments, you get points. And if you get 20 points, you qualify automatically for a tour card. Okay.
Right.
So he had over 20 points after his junior year. He decides to come back, and I'm sure he was compensated to come back. But he came back, he says, to win a national championship. And that's what's so cool about it. They won the national championship. They didn't win the SEC, but they won the Natty. And he won 6. I think he won like 6 tournaments or 4 tournaments his senior year. He was exploding, and plus he was playing on the PGA Tour. My guess is he had the minimum number of hours in school during his senior year as he could. He was playing a lot of tournaments, right? And he was probably doing online stuff. to stay eligible if there is an eligibility. Who knows if there's eligibility now in college athletics?
Right. Yeah.
But I am privy, Barry, to this is an interesting little side note. You say, well, how do teams get to be that good? How does Auburn get to be that good? And I have a little insight. I'm not going to give away all the details, but there is a group of donors that back in the day, they would be called the Red Elephant Club of Auburn, okay, except for golf.
Yeah. Okay.
There are some very high net worth individuals who are very big into golf, and they support the program. And that's why you have Five Deep, who they have. They have 5 great players, really 6. And I know one of those individuals. They're going to go nameless, but after the SEC tournament, these individuals there's a gap between the NCAAs and the NCAAs. That group took the team on a tour. They went on a tour playing golf courses. They played one very nice course at Alex City. They went over and played a big course in Atlanta. Then they went to North Carolina, where a lot of these individuals have places. And it was I don't say bonding, but it was basically we're going to go get ready. This is how we're going to go get ready. Okay. We're going to go play all these courses. We're going to be, all this in a very good event. And then they win the Natty.
Beats the heck out of being in Junction, Texas, or,
I'm telling you, the program, for programs like that, you got to have support. And that program has support. So, segue into football like you were, Barry. You can't say Auburn doesn't have support in the football program.
Goodness.
There's money. Yeah. There's money there. It's a matter of getting out of their own way and getting the donors to, I feel good. I don't know how you feel about Golish, but I picked Golish last year on a show on November 3rd before he was ever hired. And I think he's the right kind of guy that they need. Whether he succeeds, I don't know in today's, environment, but he's the real deal. Summerall's the real deal. Summerall's the real deal. That's why they warned him. And Golish knows he wasn't his pick. So
yeah. And at Florida, Summerall knew that he wasn't the pick. They were going all in on Lane Kiffin, weren't going to get him, and da-da-da. So sometimes, Pat Dye wasn't the pick whenever that went down. So sometimes you just kind of get lucky, and who knows, maybe they've gotten lucky with him. It was a good weekend for Coyvin, of course. It was a really good weekend for Auburn men's golf. They were all over TV, all over social media. Jackson Coyvin, who was fantastic on Saturday, the anointed one, they had him all over the place in the Sunday telecast. Men's golf coach Nick Kleinert got some time on TV previewing the day. Jim Nantz, at the end of the broadcast, Nantz, did I hear a War Eagle from Jim Nantz? I think he got a War Eagle out for everybody, for Jackson Coyvin. So it was a good weekend for Auburn, for sure. And who knows? I don't think this is the high point for Jackson Coyvin. I think he's going to be doing that. One quick thing here. I think he's going to be doing it for a long time. One quick thing here. Jason Caldwell from Auburn 247 points out, Coyvin won his first tournament in his 13th start. Ludwig Aberg won in his 16th. John Rahm won in start number 17. Roy McIlroy was a winner on his 18th. Tiger's first one was in his 19th start. Justin Thomas won his first tournament in his 43rd start. Not to compare, but that's just to give you an example of just how precocious that young man is. Before we break away, and we've got a lot to do today, again, with John being out. Hopefully he's doing okay. It's a tough time for him. But here it is, Monday, July 27th. Gardner Webb and Austin Peay roll out in Clarksville, Tennessee, along with Northwestern of Iowa at Western Illinois and Charleston Southern at Lindenwood, 6 o'clock on Thursday, August 27th. It's July 27th. Technically, we are a month away from college football. Hallelujah. Lots to talk about. We will partially address the question from Joe on the chat line. Fellas, what day will Aaron Suttles be on this week to discuss the new NIL objectives in Shelby County? That's in the news, somewhat anyway. It's not really sports, and we try not to be judgmental on this program, but that will have a thought or two on this program as well. He's Warren Matthews. I'm Barry McKnight. Warren's in for John Longshore. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You got a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light! Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here! Oh, Bud Light there! I missed that because of you! You did not miss that play because of me! Have to stop talking this way? Yeah! It's actually kind of fun. Hey,
I got your Bud Light.
Oh, nice. Never mind! Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light.
What'd I miss?
I have no idea.
Chances are there's a pack nearby. Fortunately, the same applies to beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. To avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks, like that.
What's wrong with going in circles?
Different circles, Ross.
Okay.
Head for the mountains.
We are into July 27th now, final week of the month. August is when it really gets down to the nitty-gritty, when we really start, separating men from the boys, the wheat from the chaff, blah, 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 all of that. And it all starts technically a week from today. And I can't wait for it. This August in my calendar, July and August July is my month to try to catch my breath a little bit. This year it's been a little bit compacted because the college baseball season ran so long for Troy with the College World Series and all that.
I feel sorry for you, Barry, that you're having to cut into your vacation time by being in Omaha. I mean, I'm sorry for you indeed.
That was part of the vacation because I enjoyed every moment of it. But it is this is somebody says, when do you ever get time off, Barry? Well, this month is it. We'll have our anniversary is next month. We'll spend a little bit of time celebrating that. But other than that, once August hits, it's back on the grinder until next May or next June, which is the way I love it. I've been doing it. This will be my 25th year doing the play-by-play at Troy, which is hard to believe, which will tie me with Ralph Black for the longest tenure as the play-by-play announcer at Troy.
So Barry, you mentioned Austin Peay. I always have to tell my Austin Peay story.
Gardner Webb and Austin Peay a month from today to open up the season on Thursday, August 27th. The Running Bulldogs against the Governors at Austin Peay's home stadium, which is located in
Clarksville? No, where are they?
Clarksville, Tennessee.
So Clarksville, Tennessee. So my father, God rest his soul, had more one-liners than Shecky Green. I mean, he had every he had it. So he would tell the story is that one of his favorite basketball players in history was a guy named Fly Williams. Fly Williams was from the Bronx. I think he was from Browns, but he was from inner city New York.
Yeah, okay? The Brownsville neighborhood in the Bronx, which is tough.
So Leonard Hamilton, former, ended up being a great coach at Miami and all that. He was coaching at Austin Peay. And he brought Fly down there, and Fly went off, and they had a great run in the NCAAs. And my dad used to go to all the regionals and stuff, and they're playing. I want to say they beat, somebody good, then lost to Kentucky in the regional. And the fans had a chant. They'd say, the fly is open. Let's go pee.
Yes.
Fly is open. That was one of his. He loved to tell that story.
Fly was averaging about 38 points a night. Everybody else averaging about 25. Yeah. They still have that. That's kind of their thing. Kind of like Roll Tide or War Eagle or anything. Their thing is let's go pee.
Yeah.
But when they had a guy named Fly is open. Let's go pee.
And Fly had a notorious event that happened when he was in the ABA for the St. Louis Spirit or whatever they were.
The Spirits of St. Louis.
The Spirits of St. Louis. He got into a fight with a teammate in the layup line. So that's not one of his better moments.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right, couple of things here just to address them, just to acknowledge them. Don't know anything about it. Again, Joe says, fellas, what day will Aaron Suttles be on this week to discuss the new NIL objectives in Shelby County? And Brett from Beauregard says, so, Barry, will y'all be like the rest of the media in the state of Alabama and act like Aaron Suttles doesn't exist? He does exist. He was a longtime sports writer for the Tuscaloosa News before he began work with the University of Alabama. Not a University of Alabama employee, but their NIL outreach. I don't think you can call it a collective anymore. He was the director of their NIL, not the NIL fundraising, but the content for the NIL. They'd make their deal with the University of Alabama, and for certain amounts of this, and he would interview them or he would get them. Anyway, he worked as the director of content with the University of Alabama's NIL office. Late last week, his name came up as being arrested as part of a sting operation in Shelby County for soliciting prostitution. That is all I know about it. I've read Aaron Suttles for years. I know I've seen him on podcasts. I've seen some of the stuff he's produced with the NIL in at the University of Alabama, the content, because here at Troy, we're always looking for content ideas too. I've never met him. I don't know him. That's all I know about it. I know it exists. I know it's a thing. That's all I can tell you. And, I don't know anything at all about his personal life, whether he's married or not or anything like that. But that's all I know. So there you go with that. You can take that to wherever you want. But that is kind of a thing among some people. Well, I don't know if he's guilty or innocent or what the deal was with all of that, but that's the way it is there. So all I got with that, and you can, you can have fun with it. Can't stop you, but there's just nothing I can add to it. Maybe a joke or a one-liner, but for the grace of God goes a lot of people. So nobody knows what somebody else's life is like. Other than that, Major League Baseball Hall of Fame induction over the weekend.
Andrew Jones.
Total love for Andrew Jones. Best defensive center fielder I've ever seen. I didn't see Willie Mays in his prime. I did, watch him when he was older with the Mets and stuff. But and nothing but love for Andrew Jones. Love him. Led the majors in homers one year, believe it or not. And yet again, I got to tell you, it is an injustice that Andrew Jones is in the Hall of Fame and Dale Murphy is not. 2-time National League MVP, the face of those lowly Braves franchises back when he was, maybe with one or two exceptions, the only pro on the team. It's like Casey Stengel once said, when all those years he was the manager of like the Brooklyn Dodgers, who were awful, and the Boston Braves before he went to the Yankees. He said, all those years I felt like I was at a golf, I was ran a golf club, only one pro to a club. And that was Dale Murphy was the one pro to the club. No idea what they have against him. One of the nicest guys in the world. Andrew Jones, God bless him, but Andrew Jones should not be a Brave in the Hall of Fame before Dale Murphy is a Brave in the Hall of Fame. Other guys?
I don't know. What about Rafael Linares? I've always thought that he should get a. So, all right, Barry, this is a little side note. Shout out to my man, Greg Harley from Jacksonville State University. He and I are law partners, pickleball partners, everything, but he has a golf swing that when he takes it back flat. And I always said his swing is like Rafael Linares, because he had the bat like down there scratching his ass with his bat. With his bat. So
that's a bad swing right there.
He was one of my favorites back in the day. So
we can talk about all of those guys. Like Rex says, how about Otis Nixon?
Otis, my man.
No. Bill from Baltimore says Murphy was a candidate. He's always a candidate, but didn't get in the modern era committee or something. Jeff Kent got in that way. Jeff Kent leads all second basemen in career home runs, so you got to get in for that. But he was a total jerk to the media, but now they love him now that they've forgotten how much of a jerk he was trying to get interviewed and all that. Murphy's a better player than Jeff Kent. And if anybody's not noticed yet, the Atlanta Braves, out of the All-Star break, 7-3, 70% winning percentage. They are playing in a National League Eastern Division that lately has been just horrendous. I want to say the Marlins have lost something like 13 straight now, and Philadelphia losing record out of the break. Washington 6-4, Mets 4-6. Braves now lead the division by 5.5 games, so there is that. And other than that, guys, let's talk football. We're still talking over the last little bit of SEC media days. There are some media days this week, but not so as you could care, really. Not so that that's something that
Barry, when are you heading out? Barry, when are you heading out to Big Ten Media Days?
Big Ten Media Days is coming up. It's this week. It's in Chicago. And
you think they're just going to trash the SEC like all the Big Ten commentators did last week by saying SEC folks were whiners about the 9-game schedule and how the SEC, it just means more to them and all those kind of I mean, it was funny. It's like you have all the guys on radio or digital radio or whatever it is. The SEC people, all they can do is talk about how great every single team but Arkansas and maybe Mississippi State have a chance. It's just like you can't. You can find something about every team that they are going to win it all, and then you've got the guys who are the ACC and the Big Ten media just blasting everybody whiners because we didn't get their 16 game playoff. Therefore, they're talking about leaving and all this kind of stuff, and how just because they've got the sixth place team is a really good team, they think they're great. Well, the bottom line is those other three conferences are top heavy. They got three teams. They've each got, well, I'd say Big 12's got two, but an ACC may have two. And Big 10 may have three or four, maybe. But after that, it just drops off like the Grand Canyon. So
can I just spend a moment and tell you how wrong you are just for a second? Now,
I'm happy to be wrong.
You're right about that. The SEC, and I've always been an SEC guy. I grew up an SEC fan. I always thought that I would rather watch an SEC football game than an NFL game. There's not a day in my life that I've taken a breath that I haven't thought that. But I grew up there. I value it. I've been to all the venues and everything, but it's the people in the SEC, that cover the SEC that they don't want to hear anything about any of it. The SEC's better. Well, but the SEC's better. Well, why is it better? Because they're just better, and I'm here to tell you, I was a little bit surprised. We talked about it Friday that Nick Saban came out. I mean, you can talk about talk show host from Huntsville or, podcaster from Hey Hira or something like that. But when Nick Saban comes out and says, yeah, I know they've won the last 3 national championships, but that doesn't mean they're better. And this is the guy who every waking thought was driven towards, success and winning and winning the day and all that. Now all of these people who are saying, well, the Big Ten is, if I'm them this week and it starts tomorrow in Chicago, this week I want to act like the SEC doesn't even exist. Oh, they still sponsor intercollegiate football in the SEC. Because they have leverage. They've won the championship. The only thing I really disagree with you on that is that they're top heavy. Last 3 national champions, of course, Michigan, Ohio State, and Indiana. But you look, Illinois is good, Penn State's good, Wisconsin's going to be good again.
Maybe. Oregon is Oregon. We always USC. We always forget Oregon and USC and UCLA
and Washington.
We always forget that they're part of the Big Ten, which is absolutely brilliant move on their part. It doesn't make any sense.
No,
but to get the quality teams into the league, there's nowhere else you could go to get that without going and getting Notre Dame. And you're not getting Notre Dame because they're Notre Dame. So
I think they're done. The only thing I would do if I was a Big Ten is I would jettison a couple of teams, beginning with Rutgers, maybe Northwestern, that don't help them. But you look up and down, like tomorrow, in at Big Ten Media Days, Illinois, Iowa, Penn State, Rutgers, Wisconsin, and USC. I'm just telling you, Penn State and USC will get the significant amount of publicity there. Ohio State is in day 2, rather, along with Oregon. But Michigan State, Minnesota, Purdue, and UCLA. Thursday, Indiana, Michigan, Nebraska, Washington. Thursday is the best day on that. You look at each one of those, and then you look at the SEC schedule. The SEC, let me just take the first day, last Monday, a week ago today. Kentucky, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee. You can't tell me that Illinois, Iowa, Penn State, Rutgers, USC, Wisconsin isn't better than Kentucky, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee. So all this stuff about, well, the Big Ten's not deep and everything, you watch. I think USC is going to be in there. Goodness knows if they're not, Lincoln Riley's gone. I think Illinois is going to be in there. Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, not Michigan, maybe. Indiana again, and Washington. Washington's got a great quarterback nobody pays attention to because they're a long way away. So you may hate on the Big Ten, but if I'm them, number one, I'm answering response to all these questions that are going to be asked about the SEC, saying, oh, the SEC, I guess good luck to them, I guess. Maybe they'll have some success. I would be so condescending to the SEC. I would make it a point that everybody knew what I was doing. Man, look how condescending the Big Ten is. So that's what I'm after.
So Barry, if this new day in college football where money can get success, here's what I'm looking at a test case here, and it's Northwestern. Okay. Northwestern's had a few good teams here and there. Okay. They're getting a new stadium.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They just hired Chip Kelly, and they've got Neuheisel's son who came from UCLA, who had a little success as OC or as a quarterback coach, whatever he was.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, do they spend the money? Because Northwestern has an endowment. They've got the financial wherewithal to do a Vanderbilt. Do they, succeed in this new model? Because they can. They can succeed in a way that they haven't before. In other words, they can buy some ones. And not their twos are going to suck, but their ones can be good.
If you haven't seen, and their new stadium is going to be beating the old Dice Stadium to the brakes off. Their new stadium is going to be a showplace. Before they built the new stadium, check out their football facility. It's right on the shores of Lake Michigan. It's almost totally glass. It looks like a cathedral. That thing's been there for 2 years. It's helped them in recruiting. It is unbelievable. But they just have that. They're willing to spend the money. I'm not sure this is the case. Maybe you can shed some light on this. One of the things that helped Vanderbilt out was the football coach and the athletic department came to an understanding with the admissions department at Vanderbilt University. Vanderbilt admits maybe 5% of applicants, which is one of the smallest approval ratings. I mean, it is hard to get into Vanderbilt. There were a few staggering upsets in the past. Anyway.
So Barry, how many scholarships are there now?
There are 85. Okay. But you can have as many as 105.
There are 85 scholarships. Okay. I'm going to go on a limb that if you did a blind admissions application, that of the 85 football scholarships at Vanderbilt, 2 of those 85 would get in based on
their own merits.
And the reason I say that is there are kids with 4.6s and 35s at Vestavia Hill High School in Birmingham, Alabama, not getting a sniff. I mean, it just, it's almost impossible. I mean, I have an alumni magazine. I went to law school there, but I had an alumni magazine that had an article that said, this is why your child is not getting into Vanderbilt. I mean, basically saying, hey, we know you got in back in the day when it was between you and SMU and, you're rich and you're from Texas and you got in. That just doesn't happen anymore. The Northeast is flooding the market with top-notch students, and your kid's not getting in. I'll take that back. There is actually the ability to get your child in. It's very limited, and I'm not going to say it's 8 figures, but it's a high 7 figures. And so,
like USC, you can, they get kids in on rowing scholarships.
That being said, you can't, the normal people, I have 3 friends who all went undergrad there, and their wives. They were double undergrads, and 5 of the 6 kids those 3 couples had went to Wake Forest because they couldn't get into Vanderbilt. All live in Nashville, all went to the best schools, all had great backgrounds, and none of them got in. So but now every school other than the Ivies now have made accommodations. I mean, Duke absolutely has. They did it a long time ago. UNC did it a long time ago. Northwestern has done it as well. The one that is struggling and will continue to struggle, Stanford. They have not yet lowered their standards to the degree everybody else has, and they are really bad.
They're terrible. Yeah.
I mean, they're just bad, and they're in the ACC. I mean, they have to travel 3 time zones to play.
Yeah,
and it's awful. So
yeah,
no, there's no. I'm not aware of any school that's a big Power 4 that is an quote academic school other than Stanford that's really, has standards, because you're taking transfers, and your transfer, you can do a lot of things with transfers. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Versus people coming in.
Yeah.
So anyway,
let's take a break. More to come in just a moment. Warren is in for John Longshore. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. Many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272.
Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Grab some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Big news for Central Alabama travelers. Getting to Texas just got easier. You can now fly nonstop from Montgomery to Houston with United Airlines. No long drives, no layovers, just smooth direct travel from your hometown airport. Whether it's business or a weekend getaway, Houston is now just one flight away. Spend more time there and less time getting there. Fly nonstop to Houston. Fly MGM, where travel feels easy. Book your trip today at flymgm.com.
Lots of different things on the docket. We are a month away officially from the college football season, really 5 weeks for everything that matters. My buddy Jay, loved that guy. He said, I don't understand a 4-point GPA scale where people have a 6.37, has 6.37 GPAs. Jay, you were one of those guys. Who are you fooling? Give me a break. My problem in high school and my problem in college too was that I went to a lot of different schools. I transferred a couple of times in college, and I transferred. I had transfer credits. I went to junior college for a summer just to get anyway, and I went to 4 different high schools.
You went to summer. You went to junior college just to get eligible for athletic intercollegiate.
Oh, yeah,
athletics.
that's what it was. That's what it was.
You're a partial. You're a partial qualifier.
But yeah, very partial, like a fractional qualifier ought to be more like it. A skin of his teeth qualifier. But you brought up something a little while ago that that made me think, does anybody remember the last guy in college football who was rendered academically ineligible?
It's called,
and they said it, and they called it that. They didn't say, well, he's taken a year, or, da, da, da. Anybody?
the only person who's academically ineligible is the person that can't turn on their computer for an online class.
Yeah, and does not have access to AI or something. I don't know. I saw something the other day where there was a professor who had an exam or an essay or something like that, and part of the exam had letters with white font, and AI couldn't read the white font, and so like 70% of the people failed the exam because they're just using AI for it, an online thing. My son, I know what it is. I mean, I'm online all the time. I know online classes. There are some degrees you can get, obviously, that are online only. There are some universities that are online only. Troy has a tremendous online presence.
International programming at campuses all over the world.
Yeah, I wish they had online classes available when I was in college. It would have been a lot easier for me, believe me, because, if anybody knows my story, I was at the University of Florida. I had an accident and had to spend a year out of school, and just a year just with a huge leg cast on and all of that, and just sitting around the house, couldn't take classes and all that kind of stuff. That was after I got a little bit better and could move around some. That's when I went to the junior college and took some classes just to take some classes. So I would have loved that. I've never taken an online class. It is that point of the calendar for me where as a university athletic department employee, I have to submit that I will. It's basically an NCAA compliance thing. I won't, gamble on anything. I won't sell the tickets that I get through the university and won't provide anything to student athletes and all that kind of stuff. You can't do that online. You actually have to have the piece of paper, and you have to physically sign it, and you have to date it and all that kind of stuff. But that's about the only thing you don't have to do that you can't do online.
So I had a teacher, God rest her soul, Mrs. Roses Stevens. She had 3 boys go to the Naval Academy, one of which played football, was a starting defensive end. And she taught biology in the 9th grade. And so every Friday she gave a 10-question quiz. And she taught 2 classes in that. It was in 2nd period and 5th period. And we had people who'd rather cheat than study. And so they figured out that she gave the same quiz. Okay. So they got the answers. And she kept wondering why all these dumbasses were making hundreds on her quizzes. So the next week, she changed it up where she changed the order of the questions and made sure that only one of the letters, A, B, C, or D, matched, so that everybody that cheated made a 10.
Ooh.
And there's nothing you could say about it. You couldn't go and question it. She just knew and identified. So if Rosa Stevens were alive today, I promise you she could AI proof whatever class she was teaching. She was hard enough to figure it out.
That is definitely hard to do.
It's a new day.
It is a new day.
Yeah.
We got to talk about this because I know you're a hoop head. Does it feel like 2 years, $8 million for the contract for LeBron James to spend the last 2 years of his NBA career is a little light? He's going to the 76ers, who's already loaded with, Tyrese Maxey and Embiid and VJ Edgecombe and all those guys. I figured, if he's going somewhere, and he was going somewhere, then it would be for a lot more.
No, it's a
than
loophole.
2 years, $8 million.
It's a loophole, Barry. There's because he's got the service time he has. There's no mandatory minimum. Okay, so well there is. It's it's whatever it is. He's taking the minimum. Okay, so that they can give it to others. He doesn't need the money. He's not playing for the money anymore. And so they have ways to get around that for people who've been in the league 10 years, who are superstars. So they can't just pick. Somebody who's made $250 million can't just go pick their team. Well, he's a unicorn. He's been there 21 years or whatever it is. So he's outlasted the system. The collective bargaining agreement doesn't address people who are 41 years old and superstars. They just don't exist. So he was able to basically go wherever he wanted to go for that little bit. That's just what he has. Yeah. They have to pay the minimum basically, and then he gets the minimum. And if you are LeBaron Filan, what are you thinking these days? Oh my God, I'm about to play with LeBron James. I'm about to throw him an alley-oop, So
and last year he was throwing alley-oops to Noah Williamson. Basketball is a funny game, man. That was in practice, baby.
Except they were bouncing off the back of the rim when Noah, fumbled it and couldn't convert. So
couldn't catch it cleanly. So don't expect huge numbers for LeBron. I mean, believe it or not, it's Tyrese Maxey's team. VJ Edgecombe can shoot. Jaylen Brown, who's new, athletic as heck, and he can finish. And Embiid when he's healthy. He provides a wall. I mean, he can kind of slow things down a little bit. So LeBron may be the fourth option on that team. He's not much of a defender anymore. He just doesn't have the energy to try as hard.
VJ Edgecombe is the real deal. Yeah. But Barry, anytime you talk about the Sixers, think about we're of the same age. The whole ABA to NBA. The mystique of Dr. J coming from the New Jersey Nets to the NBA Sixers. Dr. J, it just gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling the way he played the game in a way nobody else really played at that point. And it was just, and his hands were like they're like this big. He had these hands. They were amazing. Unbelievable.
Don't get me started on Dr. J, George McGinnis from the Pacers, Bobby Jones, Maurice Cheeks, the great Andrew Toney from Southwestern Louisiana. Oh man, a little tear in my eye.
Let's don't overlook Daryl Dawkins, Dr. Duncanstein. No, shatter a backboard.
He was from Orlando, Florida, which is, my old stomping grounds and everything. Oh, Chocolate Thunder from down under. Oh, man, those were the days. So, I guess that explains it. That's why we throw these things up. He's the leading scorer in the NBA. People continue to put him in the GOAT conversation with Michael Jordan. I don't think it's close. I think Jordan was better. There is a Bill Russell scale that Yahoo Sports does of the greatest careers in NBA history. They've got Bill Russell number 1, Jordan number 2, Kareem number 3, and LeBron number 4. So if you look at it quantitatively, he's not even top 3. I think Jordan's the best. But all the other guys, the 3 guys in front of him, they all have at least 6 rings apiece. Russell has 9. LeBron has 4 with 3 different teams. He's trying to become the first man ever to win a title with 4 different franchises. And that's about all that he's after anymore, right?
My daddy says you don't play defense. You tell your daddy.
Try lugging around Lanier and Walton and all those. I bust my buns. Just hearing Kareem say buns was worth the price of the movie. Yeah.
Oh, Barry.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get ready for our second live hour. Again, say a little prayer for John and the family. They have, he's working through a tragedy Friday and today. He has our prayers, and so does everybody in the Longshore extended family. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with one of their clinics and take advantage of physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solution services. Get back in the game, get back to work, and get back to life with Phoenix Physical Therapy. To find a location near you and to schedule an appointment, go to phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. That's phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a fourth location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959, and have the best-looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw.
As you check us out, we appreciate that. Always have had such a great response ever since we put this on the air a couple of years ago. We are approaching, what is it, Warren? We've gone through
500
2 years.
We're almost to 2 years. Almost to 2 years.
Yeah.
And this is show 481. We're 19 shows from 500.
Yes. We are approaching several milestones, including subscriptions and all of that as well. The word of mouth has been really good. For those of you who are in right now, just hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. That way you make sure you get all of it and you become a part of a really dynamic community. Believe me, we get on the chat line, and our chat line, you got to understand, our chat line is about maybe a quarter, maybe a tenth of our actual viewership, which we love our chat line. We love people out there. The obscure airplane reference, it's getting more and more obscure by the moment, where you have Roger Over and
Talking Jive.
Yeah, you got Joey, asking, he was up in the cockpit.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Yes. Yeah, ever like movies with gladiators? But they had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as Roger Murdoch. And I think the navigator's name was Victor, and he had Captain Over.
Victor.
The kid was asking Kareem, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He says, no, kid, I'm not. My dad says you never play hard until the playoffs. And that's when he Bill from Baltimore says Bill from Baltimore up. He says Airplane could not be made these days, although it'd be great to try. No, it cannot. It cannot be made these days.
But it appears on the internet. There's plenty of stuff that could easily pass for that on YouTube and other platforms. So
yeah, there are lots of movies that couldn't be made today. Shame to say. It's funny because we don't go to the movie theater hardly, like ever. My wife and I, we do a lot. We watch a lot of movies, mostly at home. I don't know how some movie theaters stay open. I hope they do. But I've always thought there are some things, you can't put that in a movie. That's not suitable to put in a movie. That's, I don't know, hateful, or it's disagreeable. I don't agree with it and all that kind of stuff. But you can watch any movie you want to with a guy getting a bullet right through the middle of his head. That's cool. That's all right. You can have some movie where guys get decapitated and all that, but you cannot have a movie where they talk about a protected group in a negative way. You just can't do that. So I would never want to be a movie critic like my guy Jay is, just because I don't, I love acting. My sister is a theater professor, but I don't get what's acceptable and what's not anymore. I'm not.
I've always felt like the orcs in Lord of the Rings got a bad rap because they killed the hell out of them and nobody took up for them.
That's right.
I mean, where are the people taking up for the orcs? They're not necessarily bad people. They're just misunderstood.
That's right. They about everything bad that you can have happen to you. I mean, they stink, they're ugly, and they're murderous psychopaths. But who's to say they don't have right to our sympathy and all?
Hey, Barry, have you seen the media rankings of the SEC for next year? Have you looked at those?
What now?
Have you seen the media out of SEC Media Days, the rankings for next year, the preseason
rankings? Yes, I have.
That is fascinating to me because there's something that pops out that I'm like, you need to take this person's credential away because
the SEC champion again. But John and I hammer on this all the time. The preseason SEC football media poll and the all SEC team, we always get the email. The SEC requests that you vote on the SEC champions and the predicted order of finish and the preseason. I never do that. John never does that.
Well, somebody from the Commonwealth of Kentucky did, because they got one first place vote and they ended up 14th on the rankings. So
I don't know. That's one of the reasons. There's several reasons. Number one, I don't think I'm there to cover it. I'm there to report on it and give my opinions on it. I'm not there to make the news. I'm there to react to the news and report the news and all that. And for me to do that, I have had votes on several things before. I used to have a vote on the Bear Bryant Award and all that kind of stuff. But Georgia predicted to win the SEC with 88 votes received, Texas second at 57. Then Ole Miss at 6. Georgia and Texas are way, way out in front of everybody else. 57 in second place, 6 votes in third place. Then Texas A&M, 5 votes in fourth. Alabama has 3 votes to win the SEC. Just 3.
Sixth ranked.
Yeah.
Sixth ranked out of 16.
Behind Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and LSU. Auburn is picked 12th by the SEC. LSU has 2 votes to win the SEC championship. These are SEC championship votes. And Kentucky has 1. I'd like to see that Kentucky guy get his credentials revoked. Not because you have to have any standard of a lack of bias. You know, it's not like you have to be a certain amount of unbiased. If you had to be unbiased and you're in that thing, it'd be a ghost town in there. But somebody picking Kentucky number one, they're not serious. They're not serious. They're saying, hey, let me get, you know, I don't get it. But
I think what happened, I know what happened, Barry, is that his cursor kind of slipped and Georgia and Kentucky were right next to each other, and he accidentally hit the Kentucky bubble and didn't go back and take it out. And so
he just looked
at for Kentucky.
Heck with it. Yeah, I'll leave it there. These don't mean, and they're awful. They never picked them correctly. I think Georgia will win it. Georgia's really good. And I think Texas will be number two. But by and large, the fact that Kentucky has anybody that'll pick them to win is beyond me. Nothing really different about the all-SEC team. And even now, back in the day, at least you had some semblance of an idea. The first team and the second team, you don't know, because there's all these guys that we have seen before. I looked at the ballot. I've looked at the Sun Belt ballot. And for instance, the Sun Belt ballot for all Sun Belt quarterback, this is just an example, had 3 nominees on there. One of them was Goose Crider for Troy, who if I could not vote for because I am the Troy representative. So you had 3 quarterbacks you had to vote for in the Sun Belt Conference, but only 2 guys I could vote for because you didn't know who any of these other guys were. That's all this is not who the best players are, but the players that you've heard of before. There may be a transfer quarterback at Kentucky, like Kenny Minchie, that will just knock him dead. You know, transfer quarterback at Arkansas. There's a transfer quarterback at LSU. Nobody knows a lot. You can't vote for them necessarily. So this whole thing is just really, it doesn't make any difference.
I go back to Ole Miss. People love Ole Miss and Pete Golding. Answer this question, Barry. Lane Kiffin leaves at the end of the year and goes to LSU. Does Ole Miss hire Pete Golding as their head coach? I'd say no. They do a search and they go out and try and hire, pick the name, somebody of note. I mean, Pete Golding's a good guy. He got run in Tuscaloosa. Saban didn't like him. He got run, went with Kiffin. So, you know, caveman coach.
But it's also the timing, you know.
Oh, I mean, you know,
you leave when you're in the college football playoff and you leave. Is there anybody luckier than Pete Golding? There's nobody in the world luckier than Pete Golding. He is on a great run. Everything has gone his way. So let's see if it continues. And if he does, then he truly deserves to be there. But, you know, obviously getting to keep Trinidad Chavlis was critical to him having any success. And that also plays into my point. Last October, 1st of October, none of you guys knew who Trinidad Chambliss was. I remember watching him play against somebody. It was late in September, early October. I think it was Arkansas. And he is dealing. He's throwing for like 380, 400. I'm thinking, who in the heck is Trinidad Chambliss? What kind of a name is that? Where did he come from? Because he looks great. Now, all of a sudden, you know, nobody would have voted him, you know, the 14th team preseason all SEC media quarterback. The 15th team, you know, nobody knew who he was last year. Now, all of a sudden, he is not only the consensus first team quarterback, he actually beat out Arch Manning by a pretty good bit. So that's the value of these. Number one, they don't mean anything. Saban's right. It's rat poison. Number two, the media never chooses them right anyway. We're no experts about that anyway. And number three, we're especially not experts about it now because you look at all these guys and you're thinking, I never heard of this guy before. You know, Byron Brown may have a great year. but nobody's going to pick him preseason all-conference quarterback. Everybody's going to kind of wait and see, just like they should. And
if
I think
Ole Miss
Pete Golding will
struggles,
be. I think Pete Golding will be fine there. Maybe not win a national championship, but I think he'll be fine.
If they struggle, you can point to one thing, and it's Charlie Weiss Jr., because that dude is the real deal. And he propped up Ole Miss last year and made Trinidad champions. Now, made him. I mean, brought him out and got him in a good spot. Yeah. And if Trinidad is solid this year, then that shows you that he's not a system guy. He's the real deal. And I think he was the real deal at was it Tarleton State or wherever he went? No, Ferris State. Yeah. So yeah.
There's a couple of things. There's a couple of coordinators out there that could make a difference. I think Charlie Weiss Jr. is going to be fine. Going to do a really good job at LSU. Buster Faulkner at Florida. Kendall Briles at South Carolina. Those are premium coordinators who are, waiting for a head coaching job.
Well, are you saying he's better than Mike Shula?
Yes, I'm saying so.
Okay. I had to channel my inner John. John, yeah. I got the off John on me, and he had to take a shot at Mike Shula. So
yeah, which is because he loves him some Mike Shula. That's the thing about it. When he stood in there in the foyer of the main media room at SEC Media Days that year, when Shula was the coach, and it was in Hoover, and he was waiting to get out in front of everybody, and he looked like a lamb being brought to the slaughter. He did not want to be there. He did not want to do what he was about to do. And he had the good fortune to be in the foyer of the big room with me and John. John, hey, Mike, hey, something along the lines of, I had you in my archaeology class or something like that. How you hitting them? You hitting them good? Well, my drivers, and I'm not putting and all that kind of stuff. It kind of loosened them up a little bit. And then I said, John, you were dogging him big time just this morning. Well, yeah, got to help them out. Chip Lindsey,
all right, Barry,
my former head coach, is now the offensive coordinator at Missouri, by the way. It'd be interesting to see, how successful he is. He's a very good coach.
Do you know where Mike Shula is now? Shula is now?
I just see from
Chris
don't
Giggle.
He's from
there
Minnesota?
he is. Yes, he's a senior offensive assistant with he's rowing the boat. He's rowing the boat up there with the Gophers.
He's not even a coordinator. He's a senior offensive assistant. In case you're wondering, since Shula, who was the head coach at Alabama from 2003 to 2006, since then, he's been with the Jaguars, the Panthers, the Giants, the Broncos, the Bills, South Carolina, where last year he was the offensive coordinator and got fired, and now he's at Minnesota. So, people talk about, man, I bet he wishes it worked out at Alabama. Well, I bet it wishes it worked out at Jacksonville, Carolina, New York, Denver, Buffalo, South Carolina, and Minnesota. God bless his wife. Goodness gracious. That is the same thing with Coach Lindsey, who I love like a brother. Chip Lindsey is one of my favorites. But goodness gracious, his wife, he's been
everywhere. He's been everywhere.
He has been everywhere. It's unbelievable.
So I have a law partner whose brother is Chip Long, former offensive coordinator for Notre Dame. And I was asking him, I said, where's your brother now? Because he did it up at Louisville, I think, maybe with Jeff Bryant. He says he's doing something else. He's just it's just too hard. Chris Long, Chip Long, whatever. It's
Chip Long. I was thinking Rocky Long.
He went to UNA. He was a UNA guy, and he ended up coaching all over Tulane, everywhere. So he's been a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That is a tough, especially now where it's 24/7 all the time. You're recruiting, you're re-recruiting your own guys. You're trying to raise money. You're doing, and the It's hard. I'm fixing to get into it full time, big time again, getting, my elbow deep into all of the prep for the upcoming season and talking with all the coaches. And man, they're busy all the time. God bless them. That is a calling. And you have got to be committed to it. Your family's got to be committed to it.
What does your week look like? Take a typical game week. What does your week look like? And,
Monday, we, we do what's called a postmortem of the week before. What worked in the broadcast, what didn't work. What do we need to change? What do we need to da-da-da? Monday, we also, if it's a road game, we get in touch with the road venue. Hey, this is when we're going to be here. Can we set up? What the frequencies for a sideline guy. And Monday's also the coaches show. Monday's the press conference day and the coaches show that night. No, that's Tuesday, where we have that. And Tuesday, I start to get into game notes, depth charts. My spotting charts are a work of art. They're extremely intricate. I start getting my spotting charts at least started. Wednesday, I print out the spotting charts and start to fill it out with a little handwritten notes. Hey, this quarterback has won 7 starts in a row, da-da-da. He was a high school All-American, da-da-da. That's all day Wednesday. Thursday is getting the interviews done. The coaches, we spend time with the coordinators and all that, get some late-breaking stuff, who's hurt, who's not going to play, who you really are like lately, da-da-da. Yeah, Monday night is Trojan Talk. Tuesday, and Monday is the coaches show. Tuesday is really getting ready. I said Tuesday. Monday is Trojan Talk. Friday, if we're on the road, we travel. If we're at home, that's when you set up all the equipment in the home booth and test everything out again and make sure everything's okay. You also welcome in the visiting broadcaster and make sure they have everything they need. And then Saturday, it's about a 9 or a 10-hour day at the game. I'm there 4.5 hours early. Before kickoff. Pregame is 2 hours, game broadcast, postgame's an hour. We wrap it up and head home. It's about 60 total hours. Of course, the last couple of years, I've also during the fall done the volleyball telecasts, which are in the fall, and the women's soccer telecasts, which are on Sunday. So it's full time all the time. But that's what I've always done. I love doing it for sure. I love one of the keys is I love the preparation. Yeah, and like my wife points out, when basketball season starts, which is early to mid-November, which is right during the teeth of the football, then all of a sudden you've got basketball too. You got to throw all that in there with some of the road trips and all that. So it's a busy time. That's why July is my time to just kind of a little bit because it's fixing to get started again.
Do y'all have any Thursday and midweek games this year?
Yeah, we've got two. The good thing is we've got a Tuesday home game against Southern Miss. I don't know that I've ever done a Tuesday game for anything. It's a Tuesday home game against Southern Miss, and we've got a Thursday game.
You have a bye week. You have the bye week the week before.
That's the best thing about it is you do have a bye week built in. So you've got later on, you've got a Thursday road game at James Madison, which is difficult. We have a bye week before Southern Miss. That is game 5 at home, which is a blessing. And then you have a short week. We play ULM at home on the 24th and then play at James Madison the next Thursday. So that's only like a 4-day turnaround before we go to JMU, who's the defending conference champion, on the 29th. But then you have a week off after that. Not easy.
Former Greenville High School head coach Brian Vincent and the ULM, are they the Warhawks? What are they?
The Warhawks, yes. Former Charles Henderson High School head football coach Brian Vincent. Former Troy player. It's all interconnected. Let's take a time out. More to come in just a moment. Maybe a Phantoms Daily Dog? I don't think so. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Have to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey,
I got you, Bud Light.
Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light.
What'd I miss?
I have no idea.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet.
Don't forget, as always, that we have got many opportunities for you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you do all of that. All of our guys on our River Region Straw chat line, much appreciated. Goodness, you guys have been busy today. We try to get to a few. Thoughts about this throughout the show. First of all, got to bring this up. Tony Romo, the CBS Sports lead game analyst with Jim Nantz, arrested over the weekend up in Wisconsin. He had played in the Wisconsin the Wisconsin Amateur State Golf Championship. He's a very good golfer. Allegedly drank a little too much before getting behind the wheel. It's his first offense. An OWI, operating while intoxicated. He was booked and he was released. CBS has not commented publicly on the incident. So there is that. I like Romo. I used to like him a lot better. I still like him just fine, but you can't do that. Cannot do that.
So Barry, my favorite Romo golf highlight is at one of these events. I guess it might have been the one out in Tahoe or one of these events.
Right.
He hits a ball up into like the fan grandstand or a hospitality place. He actually plays it from like the carpet back onto the green from like the fans. That's
nice.
And he's single digit. I mean, he plays in some of these qualifiers. He's a damn good golfer. Obviously not a great drinker.
No. Not a responsible drinker.
It's people always say, obviously don't get behind the wheel intoxicated. You could kill yourself, you kill other people. But in the events like this, Tony, no telling how much you made in the league. Get a driver. My friends who are wealthy, who like to enjoy rounds of golf on the course like that, it's easy. You just schedule a driver. It's not, you're not being pretentious. You've just got enough money. You should do it. There's the upside is, you're impacting your professional reputation and, could kill somebody.
You can kill somebody. Yeah, that was what I was about to say. That's, when we always talk about our title sponsor, Bud Light, that we mention it all the time. They are the largest encourager of you to drink responsibly. Nobody takes that more seriously than they do. Drink responsibly, act responsibly. Again, you could take a life, gosh, but for the, for the grace of God, that could have happened here. But also, think about it ahead of time. Don't think about it whenever you've tipped back one too many and thought, I'm good. Don't think about it then. Back in 2020, Tony Romo signed a 10-year, goes through 2030. He signed a 10-year, $180 million contract to CBS to serve as their lead NFL game analyst. Do the math. $18 million a year runs through 2030. You are getting to be around football and you make $18 million a year doing it. Why would you even think about jeopardizing that? There are men who spend their lives in monasteries who would not act any more deliberately than I would act if I was making $18 million a year.
Tony Romo school, Barry.
Anything that would remotely take away from my livelihood, the potential of somebody else's life, my good name, my reputation, I'm thinking about that ahead of time. I'm saying, I'm not doing that. Look at me. I've got a good job. I get to do what I've always wanted to do. I got a beautiful wife, wonderful son, great grandkids, and all that kind of stuff. I ain't doing anything. Thinking about that before, you thought, I'm okay. I can make it home. You know, I'll just be real careful. Don't do that, Tony. You've got the world on a string, man. So there is that. The pushback from the ESPN firings. Never have been a Ryan Clark fan. I don't dislike him. Just never have paid much attention to him. There are, and I'll admit this again. I earned a portion of my money through ESPN Plus. Way on down the line. There are a portion of people on ESPN that I do not know that are even on ESPN. Not that I don't recognize them or anything. I just don't know. I don't ever watch whatever Ryan Clark was on. Cam Newton, he got fired. I would not know where to watch Cam Newton at. And all of these people, David Harris and Dunn, they have so many things on ESPN that I don't give two toots about. Because I'm not a wanting to find out what the salary cap is like for the Seattle Seahawks in terms of getting that new left guard that they really want. That ain't me. But I do hate it that some of those people lost jobs. I have no idea why they would lose their jobs because ESPN is ESPN. But I keep hearing this, Warren, that they are hemorrhaging cable subscriptions because of streaming, that they are obviously not making as much money as they need to, despite the fact that, they're going to be having the Super Bowl, they have the college football playoff, they've got NBA, they've got Major League Baseball, all that stuff. But somehow they're not making enough money. Somehow they're losing viewers and stuff because, I don't know, maybe there's too much. Like there's this bald-headed black lady on ESPN. I don't know who she is, but I watched her. Nothing against her, but she's talking about stuff I couldn't, why is she talking about social issues on ESPN? I don't know. I would watch something else rather than watch something about social issues. I have my own views on. So there's a bunch of people on ESPN that I don't even know who they are. And maybe they do need to get rid of some of them just because people are not watching them. I'm not watching them. But you got to be careful with some of that.
Barry, it's content's content, but the bottom line is the color is green. And the three major networks are struggling as well because they're losing to online and streaming. And the streaming are losing. They're having to, you've got this push and pull between content and you got to have content. and you got to pay to have content, but then you got to pay to have people who will pay to be in your service. So, you're limiting the viewership because, I mean, this may not mean as much to you, Barry, because it may not mean anything to you, but Netflix, basically, there used to be one Netflix account and there were 18,000 people on one Netflix account. I mean, so now you have to, there's a whole, you can't really share. And if you share, you got a household, you got to have a household account, which costs more, which they finally figured it out. My shout out to my buddy, Jimmy, who we're going to be seeing him pretty soon. Jimmy got divorced a couple of years ago and started dating this woman. And, it didn't go that great. And he said, I broke up. He says, but I didn't have the heart. I gave her my Netflix sign-in information and she still got it.
Ooh.
And I can't, Jimmy does well. He's like, I can't cut her off. So Jimmy went out and got another Netflix account, and he's paying for her to be on his other Netflix account. So that's the world. I mean, the world it's revenue. How do you generate revenue? But subscription revenue is the other thing, and you got to have content. So Joe says Jimmy needs to grow a pair. I'm going to add a fact. I'm going to add a fact here that's going to temper this. He starts dating this woman and she gets cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why that's the additional fact. She's fine now. She's in remission and she's fine now. But he was like, I can't, So anyway, well, that's a whole nother. He's now happily dating someone else, and she has her own subscriptions. So it's as he assures me, she has her own subscriptions.
Yes. The issue also is young viewership. And again, I'm on ESPN. I do a lot of stuff on ESPN Plus, and I love doing it. And we get great response and everything. But
you've got the app. You're on the app.
Oh yeah. And
you do the app.
You can see it on
Plus,
TV and you can see it on your phone. That's the thing, though. If you look at it, when I was not even growing up, as an adult, SportsCenter was everything. Everybody watched SportsCenter at night. Hey, hang on, I'll call you back. SportsCenter's about to come on. That kind of thing. You watch SportsCenter. I haven't watched SportsCenter in years, and when that's just me, I'm older, but kids aren't watching SportsCenter. You know what they're watching? They're watching on their phones X and TikTok and Instagram. Oh, check out this dude. Check out this guy while you watch him. See, he's gonna try to get this fly ball, and it's gonna hit him in the head, and it's gonna go over the wall in left. Isn't that cool? And everything. They're not watching somebody, bring up Nationals and the Giants playing in Washington. Here's an entire 2-minute package. They're not watching that. They are not, and they're always on their phones, but they're not watching the ESPN highlight apps, highlight packages on their phones. They're either watching games or they're watching highlights on TikTok or highlights on Instagram. They are not watching Ryan Clark and Cam Newton talking about whether or not the Raiders should draft Fernando Mendoza number one. Number one, I wouldn't watch that if I was sitting right in front of him. Who cares? Number two, the kids ain't looking at that. They're not spending their time on that. They're spending their time on social media almost exclusively.
It ain't just the kids. So we'll play a game. My wife and I will play a game. Shout out to my new favorite restaurant in the coast in Foley, Alabama. Yeah. Cheeseburger Randy's. Okay, Cheeseburger Randy's. Right, it's just an outdoor cheeseburger place. The food is fantastic. It's very low key. Great burgers. They got weird hours. They're only open, at night, stuff like that. And it's kind of outdoor, an outdoor place. but we played a game. They have picnic tables. So, all right, we watched people come in with their kids and with just couples sit down. I said, watch this. How many are going to sit down and immediately pull out their phone? And it's amazing that everybody sits down, the phone comes out, and it's like looking down. And so I guess I'm being hypocritical because we do it sometimes too, but we try not to. And you really have to try not to. I mean, it's not, that's your natural inclination. But yeah, that's even in nice restaurants. It's funny. I just watched the people go straight to screen.
Yeah. Dee and I got to spend, a Sunday together. No, it was Saturday together. And we went out and just, drove around. We stopped at one of these antique malls, large antique mall. We like doing that. And we're going up and down, just browsing through there. And there are families in there and there were 3 different kids that I ran into in that antique mall who were just sitting on an antique chair inside somebody's little vendor area, and they're on their phones. Now, I get it. Antique malls aren't probably little kids' things and everything, but I mean, they are sitting there. They are finding their first place they can find out in real people society to where they can get on their phone in virtual reality or whatever and do something other than pay attention to real life. That is a thing. There's no question.
All right. All right, Barry. So I got to ask you this. Are you the guy that will have a $6 paperweight that you want to buy, get it down to $4 in one of those places?
No, I am not a haggler. I'm
not a haggler either. I'm not a haggler either. I know people who are, and they just do it because they can.
It's fun. You know, let me see if I can get this down to $4. I'm thinking, you get that down to $4, you've saved $2, and you have wasted 10 minutes of your life that you could spend doing something else. That 10 minutes ain't coming back. Not me. Not ever. Not once. I don't think I've ever haggled for anything in my life.
All right, Barry.
That's excruciating.
Did you see the kid? All right, there are people who go out. This is very prevalent. They go to Goodwills and thrift stores.
Yeah, we do.
And they go through all the clothing and try and find vintage clothing and things like that. Did you see the kid in, I think it was Seattle? Did you see what he found?
Oh, the Wilt Chamberlain?
The Wilt Chamberlain that I think sold for God knows how much money.
$700,000 or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
How awesome is that? Yeah.
That's revolting.
And
I mean,
but there was a guy who put it down. There was a guy who had it in his hands and he put it down and the kid got it.
And it's sweaty and it's 50-something years old and somebody is going to pay that much money for it. That's crazy. Yeah. And Joe says,
and I wouldn't have known about it, but for the wheel. I mean, I remember that was a wheel topic, I think. But I mean, that's the kind of stuff, So
I just can't imagine anybody. I mean, I love sports. I love Wilt. I ain't buying that. That's gross. What do you do with it? I mean, you ain't wearing it in the church.
Do you watch Antiques? Do you watch Antiques Roadshow?
Yes. On
when you can. I know you don't watch. Probably don't watch TV, but that's one of my go-tos. I have that on tape.
That is one of the great things for the antiquing business that's ever been, because everybody says, this may be me this time. I may find, a Bear Bryant National Championship Coca-Cola bottle with the Coke still in it, and it might bring me $1,000. No, it ain't. You go to a thrift store, you're going to find 2 things in plenty. You're going to find Alabama stuff because people are giving that, and you're going to find those Tim LaHaye novels in there all the time. You're going to find all that stuff. Got to take a break. More to come in just a moment, including just a little bit our Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light! Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here! Oh, Bud Light there! I missed that because of you! You did not miss that play because of me! Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah! It's actually kind of fun. Hey! I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind! Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
Chances are there's a pack nearby. Fortunately, the same applies to beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. To avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks, like that.
What's wrong with going in circles?
Different circles, Ross.
Okay.
Head for the mountains.
Got a little quick segment here. Going to take another break before we get to the topic wheel. Just a moment or two to let you know a little bit later on in the week, we are going to be talking with the best sideline analyst in college football later on in the week. He is Chris Blackshear of the Troy Sports Media Network from Playfly Sports. Been with us for 22 years. Our crew has been around for a while. This will be my 25th. Jerry Miller, my color analyst, is the 34th, and Chris will be his 22nd. Chris is also a state representative, a state legislator in the State House of Alabama from Phoenix City. Been doing that for a while, and Yellowhammer News did a piece where they talked with him about the latest on having to do with the issue of sports gambling in the state of Alabama. He is on a trip right now for work, so he's unavailable. But later on this week, we're going to get with him, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Check out that news, that piece from YellowhammerNews.com with State Representative Chris Blackshear. That's coming up later on this week, along with, tomorrow, Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com, Travis Ryer, who we didn't have last week, from Ryer on YouTube. Later on, we'll rejoin CJ Duncan from Yellowhammer News. He'll join us on Wednesday. He was out next week because of SEC Media Days. Thursday, it's Jason Caldwell, Auburn 247, and Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Lots to come. And then on Friday, we're live at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, getting closer to the start of the college football season. Cannot wait to get it going. Warren is here with us. John is out. Unfortunately, it's a difficult time for he and his family, and we certainly are prayerful for him and all of that. When we come back, we'll take a break right here, catch up a little bit. It's the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. Warren is in for John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a fourth location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959, and have the best-looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw.
Drive away in a Toyota Crown Platinum or win your share of $25,000 in free play during Victoryland Casino's Crown and $25K free play giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Visit our Players Club and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings July 10th and 11th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
It's Longshore and McKnight. Time to get the reading glasses on here and get ready, because it's time for the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, brought to you by Victoryland Casino, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too. Over 40 years worth of winners, and in July still to come. Tomorrow it's the last TV Hot Seat Tuesday drawing of the year, the Diamond Hot Seat. They've got another one of those coming up July 31st. Plenty of other ways to win at Victoryland Casino in Shorter, Alabama, right off of I-85. You know the drill. 6 topics. Warren nor I have a clue about any one of these. We're all going off the top of our heads here, and usually, you know, Warren, it'll probably either generate a reminiscence or he knows somebody who was involved in it. That's coming up.
Hey Barry, I tried to hack into Gurn Jr.'s internet to get a heads up on what this is, and he has a damn extra firewall put up just for the wheel, because he knew I was trying to get ahead of the game to be able to have the ability to react to this. So
it is
we're just going to get what we get.
It is the online equivalent of that hermetically sealed envelope that Karnak the Magnificent used to hold to his forehead on the old Johnny Carson show. Best one of those ever. You know, he'd say a name, and then he'd open it up, and it would have the question, you know, that he had answered already. Best one ever was whenever he said, "Sis, boom, bah." And he opened it up and says, "Describe the sound when a goat explodes." And it was so funny that he and Ed McMahon, they had to wait for about 2 or 3 minutes for them to collect themselves from that one. Karnak.
All right.
Magnificent. Let's go back to it. Here we go.
All right. Fire that thing up, Gurn Jr.
All right, here we go. 6 topics. Here we go. 6 topics. Don't know what any of them are. Brought to you by Victoryland Casino, exit 22, I-85.
More done. I don't know what that is. Barefoot. Let's see what this is.
Barefoot. Another kicker in the NFL?
A golfer without shoe? What is it?
Gotta be. Yep. Very nice. Lucas Glover. Good guy. Hits the putt. All right. What's the backstory? Had he been in the water before? Or did he not want to leave marks on the putting line?
I saw a headline that there was no controversy, but his feet just maybe hurt. He may have feet problems.
He wouldn't, not too bad, because he's 6 under. Go down just a little bit. Aim Point was his reaction, a protest to Aim Point. He's a noted critic of the field-based method where players use their feet to help gauge the green slope. Hours later, the PGA Tour sent out a statement saying Lucas had been asked to be mindful of his spike marks on the green and was trying to be lighthearted. That's what it was. Nobody wears spikes anymore, but it can rough up the green. Somebody must have complained, Warren. And so he says, okay. Have you played golf with anybody? John has. I never have. Have you played golf with anybody who has played barefoot? John has played barefoot before.
So I have, Barry, as you said, this always elicits some sort of historical thing. I have a former law partner named Barry Flowers. Hello, Barry. I know he's not listening. He retired to his hometown of Dothan. And when Barry was a child, supposedly, and he was one of the top junior golfers in the state, he would play barefoot. So that was what he was known for. So and as a later in life, Barry, my brother would play with Barry, and he would have a little on his scorecard. He would notch every time Barry cussed. So he had like 28 times Barry cussed in a round. So
that must have been a light day. I thought, is there a rule? I mean, do you have to wear shoes?
No. And maybe on the PGA Tour, but not anywhere else. No. But no shoes, no shirt, no service. You know that.
Live it, learn it, know it. Let's go back to it. I'm interested in the more done.
I'm a little nervous about that one. Dum.
Part of it I like because Gurn Jr. spends a lot of time on the titles. On leave. Oh, I know this. This is North Carolina.
Oh yeah, that's
fire it up.
Let's see who it.
Yeah. UNC football team Michael Lombardi. He was with Belichick in New England. That came up this morning. He's their general manager. He's been placed on paid administrative leave by the university. They open up the season in a month and 2 days, and nobody's talking about it. Yeah, he worked with him when the Patriots. He has been a little controversial. He has spent some time, on the talk show circuit with some of his stuff. He said the Tar Heels consider themselves the 33rd NFL team. That was last February when they went 4-8 and didn't get a player selected in the draft. Yeah. Come on, Michael. I wonder what this could
Barry, I work for a firm that has a lot of lawyers and a lot of offices, and we hired a new firm manager, kind of he doesn't practice law, but he manages the business operations of the firm. His last job was as the general counsel of the University of North Carolina. And one of his last duties was to negotiate Belichick's contract. And I've drilled him and asked him questions on it. I will not, let's put it this way. It was a very interesting process, as you can imagine. But Belichick, I think I could say this. Belichick said he thought they'd be about where they were last year because they came in late, he thought. Then they were going to get some big heavies and they would get better. And in year 3, they would get the specialty team players, and thought by year 3 they'd be good. So he does have a plan. We'll see if he's still around. But he does have a plan.
Won a championship at Indiana in year 2.
He may not have the. You can Google both, and you're gonna see a lot. But yeah.
All right. Their offensive coordinator at North Carolina, Bobby Petrino, by the way.
Interesting.
So bear that in mind. All right, here we go. Back at it. Preston says Flowers is a big Dothan name.
It is. He's not one of those. He's not one of those. All right, Gurn.
Here we go. Yeah.
We got here we go. All right. Run it away.
Castaway. He's run it. This is Castaway, which was a great movie. Tom Hanks. Oh, sailing by himself. They don't talk enough about this. California man sailing by himself, sailing alone to Hawaii. His mast snapped 2 weeks in, and he said, I am floating around. Oh, that
is not anything I'm interested in. In other words,
no.
I don't want to be out on the water that I can't see shore. That's just me. Yeah. Now I'm not a deep sea fish. I don't like to go out past.
No, I've been. I love
and I still don't know that I can get back. I don't know that I can get back if I even see the shore, but I got shot. You know what I'm saying?
Big shout out to my cousin Tim, who operates T-Man's Charters out in Port St. Joe. I've done that a lot, but don't you have? Can't you ping something? Isn't there a satellite, or don't you have a radio or something? This is not the SS Guppy. This is not Gilligan's Island. Come on.
Do you not have somebody that cares about you that can at least contact the Coast Guard?
Yeah, that's on him. That's I got no sympathy for that guy. Okay.
Did you see a volleyball on there with Wilson? Anyway, all right, fired up.
Here we
fired
go.
up. Fired up, Gurn. 3 to go.
Right on time.
Dun being one of them. More dun. Let's see if we can get it.
Let's root for this will be
on
defense. Yes. Is this a legal topic here? Oh, Gurn Jr. He's got a weakness for the bear videos. Lake Tahoe.
We got the bear videos. All right, let's see.
Back up just okay.
Lake Tahoe. Let's
go up just a little bit. How many of them were there? 174 black bear related calls this year. Number one, they're running out of habitat, because there's so much development. There's no places for bears to live. Number two, they're running out of food. All right, how do I get in? All right, hey, excuse me. Well, that thing needed to be locked anyway. All right, where's he headed? See, those things, they look cute and everything. Those things will rip your face off. Do not mess with them. This is a big deal. All right, let's see. No,
can I get some hand sanitizer? Can I get some hand sanitizer?
Hand sanitizer, nothing here. Not all of them are dangerous. Not all of them are damaging and everything, but 174. Gurn Jr.'s got a weakness for bear videos. One local couple told the Wall Street Journal they were washing dishes when they looked up to find a bear standing in their living room. I would much rather be out on water where I can't see land than be in my kitchen with a bear there. Bears.
I'm not saying I think like a criminal, but if I were a criminal, I'd get a bear costume, and I would break into places, and they think it's a bear. They would think it's me.
That's not bad. That's a little convoluted, but it's not bad. Okay, all right. Two more.
All right, let's see. Let's see if Dun makes it to the final or not.
It's the one we've been interested in. We're going to hit it.
All right, that's going to make it. Oh, here we go.
Done. I have no idea. A great white shark leaps out of the water near a boogie border in Newport Beach. That's near where my brother lives. Okay, boogie border. Oh, that's way on back. That's 70 yards away. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe a joy of life or something like that. That is kind of cool, but it ain't got nothing to do with that boogie board. I thought it was going to jump over him or jump in front of him. That's not even close. That's majestic and all that. I wonder why it did that.
Because there was a bigger shark chasing it.
Yeah, because he had it last week. He had done, and now it's more done. Give Gurn Jr. a bear video and a shark video, and it's going to make
bears and sharks. Yep. Bears and sharks. All right, taking over. Last one. Spin it. Make it official.
All right, taking over. Right. I'm not. Oh, how about this?
Oh, wow.
Tua was supposed to be a backup because Michael Penix, they're spending a lot of money on. Tua's fresh start. They say he's a polarizing quarterback. I don't know. He's one of the nicest guys out there. Adam Schefter says he's the likely starter. Penix, he hurt himself, may not be ready for training camp. Tua may be the guy, particularly early. But again, I am out to lunch on this conversation because I can't figure out why Tua was just not like a perennial all-pro. I can't.
I was there when I realized Tua was the real deal. Alabama Vandy, he's a freshman.
Yeah.
And they're beating the crap out of Andy, and he comes in and lights it up. And that's when it all starts changing. And you're like, how do you keep this guy off the field? He was that good that early. So,
and he has not been that good later in his career. I thought he was a slam dunk NFL
All right,
star.
Barry.
Here we go.
Great show, Barry. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Warren Matthews, along with our producer, Gurn Jr. Hopefully, John will be back tomorrow, and hopefully, your prayers go up for him and that family. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.